Hello and welcome everybody back to the pascom training series. If you've been watching our videos to date, we've been doing stuff on call distribution, SIP provider registration and all that kind of stuff. Now we're going to get into a bit more nitty-gritty detail with the SIP providers, and we're looking at call rules. Now, Matthias, what are call rules?
Normally you don't care because you just use a template and it works somehow, but then somebody has a question and then you have to configure it and change it, and then it's a mess. So you have to understand the rules then at that point.
Okay.
It's not very complicated. You can do it very easy and you can do it very complicated. I will show always. Why can it be complicated? Because we have a language which you can use with regular expressions and so on. The advantage is that you can have a single line which assigns external numbers 100 or 200 or 1000
whatever it may
to 1000 users. So you don't have to say this number externally is this extension internally, this number externally is this extension internally. You can, but you don't have to. The drawback is you have to learn how it works. It's have the advantage. Yeah,
it's not that complicated as you're about to show us.
Yes.
But it's definitely a benefit that you can get a very general rule done in 1 or 2 lines.
Yes.
Yeah. So take it away. Let's have a look.
Where can you find it? You go to the trunk, edit, and here you can find inbound and outbound call rules. So how does this work? This is actually like a firewall. If you are have an IT background, then it's easy for you to understand it with this firewall sample. It's like this. We get a call and everything is fine, registered and everything. But then it goes through the inbound rule list. And if there is no matching rule, we just reject the call.
Okay.
So it's like a white list.
Yeah,
so
it's a filter, so to speak.
A filter, yes. So it's a white list. Everything we don't know, we reject.
Okay.
That's good and bad. So
okay. How do we make this really good then?
Okay, so let's have a look at the standard and what happened through the template. Here, it's easy to understand. We have the destination. This is our phone number. And if somebody dials that phone number, this is our main phone number, then it redirects to the extension 201, which is our team.
Exactly, yeah.
And if I want, I can continue like this. I could say, let's choose an international name, which is Anna. Okay.
I thought you might go down the Star Wars theme, but no.
No. Then you can say that extension is internally that extension. And then you can say Peter. It's also very international, I think. Has this extension or this phone number, and internally he has this extension.
That's all well and good, but if you've got, say, 50, 100, whatever, however many users, that's a lot of typing to do.
That's not very good, and that's not what you should aim for.
No.
Normally, if you have just 5 numbers, as I said in the last tutorial, if you just have 5 numbers, ignore our wizard who helps you with the extensions and with the variables and with everything. Just type in something and then do it exactly like this. My number here is my number there.
Right, okay.
But if you're lucky, and normally you are, if you buy a trunk and you get sequential numbers, then you could say my external extensions are the same like the internal extensions.
If you map them, and if you do your user grouping cleverly per team or whatever, you can then get a really nice setup.
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe the situation is different, but if you can plan it, or if it is already like this, then it's very, very easy.
Okay.
What you can do now, let's get into it. So here at the beginning I have an underscore which says, be careful, there is some placeholders inside.
Right.
So don't forget the underscore. And then we have here this X, and this X means one number from 0 to 9. And exactly 1. So this means 3 digits, not less,
not more.
More. That's important. So if you just have this rule and somebody dials that number just with the 0 or your original number, then it just will fail because it will not match that length of that number.
Okay.
But now here it matches all numbers or all extensions with 3 digits. So if somebody dials your number in 100, your number in 102, your number in 103,
and so on and so on and so on.
so forth.
Yeah.
And then you could just say, and then I redirect them all to my team, 201. This would work, for sure.
Yeah.
Then all the 1,000 extensions from externally will just be routed to one extension internally.
And that poor person sitting on the switchboard is going to have a lot of calls to do.
Yeah,
with.
you could just add more members then.
Yeah, you could, but yeah.
What you can do is, instead of an extension, you can use our variables, which is x10, which stands for extension. And in x10, there is stored the whole number. So from 49 blah, 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 until the end.
Until the actual extension that is dialed.
Yes. Including the actual extension which is dialed. If I would do it like this, then it would search for an extension 49322 blah, 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 internally. But that's not true. We just have 3-digit extensions internally.
Okay.
So I can say like this, -3, and then it says just the last 3 digits, like this.
Okay.
And now this one single rule does a 1-to-1 mapping from outside 3 digits extensions to inside 3 digits extension. That's it. It's the only thing you have to do for 1,000 people then.
So this is what we said at the top of the program, where if you can get a generic rule that matches to everybody, that's perfect.
Yes.
But what about if you have, say, for example, a block and it works for 99% of the people, but you have that one poor soul bugger that doesn't actually match to? How does that work?
Then you have to do everything manually.
Oh man, no.
I removed the unnecessary rules because I think you got that point already. And then I can do something like black sheep. No.
John.
John. I cannot type correctly. I call it test.
Okay.
So let's say that poor guy has 1, 2, 3.
Yep.
But for some reason, his internal extension is 3, 2, 1. So what happens now? Here I have 2 rules which are shadowing. So the big one and my new one. So
both of them would effectively match for John Smith test.
Yeah.
That you can't type. Yeah. So how does the phone system then turn around and say, okay, that this call should go to Mr. Test?
Yes, that's very, very good, but you have to understand it. So you don't have to bother around with which rule comes first and then
priority
shift
weightings
them
or
and
anything like that. Yeah.
something. What you do here is best match.
Okay.
How does this work? The system has a look at the source and the destination and sees which rule is the best rule.
Okay.
So if somebody types or calls 1, 2, 3 at the end, then the one rule just matches once. The other rule matches 1,000 times.
So it's an exact match and therefore the best match.
The best match.
Okay.
And you can do this also further. So here it says if somebody dials 1, 2, 3, then this rule will match. But you can add something else, like that's very often the case. It's the boss. And the boss has the extension 222, and he does not want to be reachable. So you could do something like this.
Put it onto the team.
His some employee or whatever.
Yeah. Okay. His secretary.
Yeah, maybe. But then you can have another rule where you say something important, the VIP. His wife, I don't know. It depends.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah,
depends. And whatever number. This is the source number for sure, mobile, landline, whatever. And then if that number calls, then it depends on the relation. Maybe like this.
VIP, you're letting it through. If it's your wife, you're saying no.
Yeah, maybe this is not the VIP, so maybe this is blacklist. You can do better blacklists than this.
But this is a simple option. And when we leave the extension empty, basically what that means is the call will just be rejected.
Yes.
Okay, good. Now, before we move on to the outbound rules, because we're got to keep this short, one last thing. International calls.
Yes, you can use this for changing the language if you like. If you don't know what and why and how, watch our prompts video. You can have different channel languages, and here you can choose. You could say if somebody has the prefix 0049, then it's from Germany, I switch to German. My default is English, whatever. So you can do there a lot.
Okay, fair enough, good. Now, on the outbound rules, what can we do there?
The very same, actually, but in the other direction.
Okay, fair enough.
The only new thing, there's some new things, but important new thing is there is an in prefix. So here you can decide when does this rule match at all.
Okay.
So in our scenarios, it's you have the prefix 0 to go to the trunk.
Right.
And then it's the prefix 0 here configured. You could leave this empty, then you don't need a prefix. But if you're in a small village and maybe you order your pizza and the guy has 1, 2, 3.
And you have 1, 2, 3.
And you have 1, 2, 3, then you cannot distinguish. So you can say 0, 1, 2, 3 is the pizza guy.
And you're 1, 2, 3, the boss man.
The boss.
Yeah.
Boss or pizza, you can decide that.
Right, fair enough. Okay, good.
Pizza.
And can we do anything else in terms of, blocking numbers or anything like that?
Yes, let's see what's the default. Source means internal extension, destination means external destination. Star means whoever,
wherever,
whatever, or whoever. We set the caller ID number. So we set the caller ID number and then followed by another variable. The second variable we use is caller ID number. And that means that everybody provides his extension to the outside world. So if I call you, you see that my extension is 1, 2, 3, and you can call me back directly on my extension. Same goes here with best match. I can change this.
Okay. A classic example could be, for example, if you want to transmit the team extension for a sales, for example.
Or let's do the boss sample. If he does an outbound call, I can do something like this. Just use this number, put it in there and append a 0 or whatever, or I can leave it empty, then we will do an anonymous call. Okay. That's also possible. And you can do whatever you like. Then you can, because you mentioned it, forbid something. So this is a sample for Germany. So in Germany, 0900 is a number which costs a lot of money.
You can imagine it as a 0800 hotline.
Yes.
Yeah.
Whatever. Here it says, everybody who wants to dial that, we deny specifically this rule.
Okay.
Or we could say, no, we don't deny it, but he needs to know the PIN.
So basically, the boss man, the devil, knows the PIN and no one else does, so only he's allowed to call these premium rate numbers.
If you just want to allow the boss to do this, that's easier. You can just say 0 and then just 222 is allowed to call that. So you can, if there is a deny rule, and then you can make a non-deny rule just for him.
Okay.
So that's also possible. Yeah. So you can go crazy with these rules.
You can do a lot of stuff with the rules, but best thing to do is to actually try to keep it as simple as possible. Yes. Otherwise, you're going to get lost and confused and all this kind of stuff.
Normally, 3 rules are enough. For the general configuration. So your inbound rule for your extensions, if you're lucky, and if external and internal are the same. Then you need something for your main number, because this is not 3-digit extension. This is something just the number you got, or with 0, depends on
how you handle those calls.
And then you need one outbound rule where you decide
how you portray your number to the outside world.
Yes. 3 basic rules you need, and then everything else is
a little bit bespoke according to your actual business needs.
Yes.
Cool. There you have it. Until next time, thanks very much for watching. Bye.
Bye.